The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Okay, good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for the second webinar of our Associate Member Webinar Series, Greening Concrete Production for Improved Profitability, put on for us today by Tecwill. Here we go. So my name is Camille Richer. I'm the Office Manager with Concrete Ontario, and I will be your facilitator today, along with Oliver Zhao, our Technical Services Engineer, who is helping me out today running the webinar and the questions portion later on. Very excited to give you all a chance to connect with some of our associate members and learn more about some of the products and services that they specialize in and the opportunities that they present for the concrete industry. I did quickly want to go over some housekeeping rules. So the webinar is going to be about 40 minutes long with a question and answer session followed at the end. Then we're going to jump into a quick Kahoot pop quiz prize round and then an additional prize draw that is sponsored by Tecwill today. All of the participants are on mute. If you have any questions, please use the questions pane and go to webinar, and we will be addressing all of those at the end. Oliver will be keeping tabs of them throughout the presentation. The webinar will be recorded and posted on the Concrete Ontario website. So if you miss anything, or if you have any colleagues that you think would like to watch the presentation that maybe couldn't make it today, you'll be able to access it there. And now I just wanted to introduce our presenters. So from Tecwill today, we have Derek Brown with us. He is the Sales Manager, Regional and Key Accounts. So Derek has been involved in the concrete industry since 1999, and his primary focus has been in the sales of concrete batch controllers and concrete plants. His background includes numerous sales courses, including the Canadian Professional Sales Association Sales Professional, and he has also completed several marketing, public relations, and graphic design courses. Prior to joining the concrete industry, Derek worked in industrial sales. His hobbies include photography, golf, fishing, and cars. Many of you may know Derek as the photographer from some Concrete Ontario events, and he's always happy to help us out. We also today have Yanni Tomiko with us from Tecwill. He is the VP, Business Development and Sales. Yanni has over 20 years of experience working with concrete and shotcrete plants and technology, inventing new solutions, reducing production costs and energy consumption of concrete production. How are you both doing today? Oh, hopefully we can hear them. Okay, well, I'm going to pass the controls over to Derek. I'm sure he's eager to get started.
Yep.
Just going to move on to the first slide here, Derek, and give me 1 moment. Okay, Derek, if you just click on the slide, you should be able to change the controls from there.
Okay, just a second here. I'm not seeing the slides, so I've just got to go to webinar page.
Sorry, 1 second. You need my screen there. 1 moment here. There we go. And let me just give you the Okay, we seem to be having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't want to slow things down, so I'll just change the slides for you, Derek.
Okay, no problem whatsoever.
Go that way.
Okay, ready?
Yep, ready when you are.
Let's let her rip. While we're doing this, good morning. Here's the agenda. Thank you for participating in this. We're going to talk quickly about the Tecwill team, talk about sustainable concrete being, why is it important, adopting these methods, common challenges, what makes concrete more sustainable, how much more profitable you can be, how to make it work, and some example of delivery projects. And then we'll summarize and have a question period. Next slide, please. And here's a little Tecwill background, 26 years experience in concrete and plant design in Europe, North America, Africa, and Asia. More than 300 plants delivered, Canadian sales office in Oakville. And we have representatives in Montreal and Vancouver. Plants are partially fabricated in Canada, and the head office, assembly factory, and plant testing yard is in Joensuu, Finland. My Finnish isn't that good. And down below, you can see our members on the Canadian team. Next slide, please. Okay, here are some of the customers that we have worked with. Most of them are European. We are breaking into the North American market. We do ready-mix concrete plants, mobile concrete plants for projects, bridges, tunnels, and roads, power plants, housing projects, precast block and paving stone factories, and we also do mining and tunneling plants. Next slide, please. Okay, plant models that we have. Archimix, it's a relocatable modular plant. Support containers can be used, storage for admixtures, control room, laboratory. The plants are along, for those of you not familiar, the European style, which is the bins are outside, of course, the silos, and then everything that you do, you use in containers. So they are easily relocatable and fast to set up, and B, can be insulated and ready for winter use. They're pre-wired and tested at the factory, low-cost foundation. We use a flying aggregate dosing and weighing system. We can do high-quality concrete. Next slide, please. And Cobra, it's along the same lines, but a bigger plant. It's got more, it's got a little smaller plant, sorry. It's got a little less capacity and can actually be set up on site with no foundations within a week, generally speaking. All our plants meet or exceed CSA standards. Okay, next, please. Next slide, please.
Do you want to try the video here?
Yeah, if that's where we are. I'm not counting the slides on the way through, so yeah.
Yeah, I think this was the one. Give me 1 second then. Get that going.
Yanni, if you're there, if you'd like to make a few comments while the video is playing.
Yeah, hi everybody. So my name is Yanni. I just, while it's showing the video, so I can tell shortly, this is the installation video of the Cobra C120 mobile plant. So you see that plant is installed on this kind of steel skids, so there's no foundation needed for at all. And it's easy to set up even in the winter time, so no matter what kind of conditions. So it's completely pre-installed and including the enclosure and pre-wiring and plumbing. So you just put the modules on the steel skids and you need a mobile crane couple of days, and the plant is pretty much ready for the production. So there is the heating system for heating aggregate and the water, and cement silos according to the customer needs. Okay, Derek, you can keep on going.
Okay, so we're back to the slides. Next slide, please. Okay, why is sustainable concrete important? What's happening in the world? It's global warming, and mega trends are green energy, sustainability, circulation of materials, and carbon-free and carbon taxes. Some of the challenges is cement and concrete is big in CO2. Now, the cement manufacturers are working on that, but it's still a ways to go. They're doing a good job, but it's still a ways to go. Another challenge is dust, noise, and energy. Dust, noise, and energy also means permitting for plants, for a new plant, gets pretty hard because they consider it a dirty industry. Depends on what town you're in, what city you're in. I've seen some plants take, well, the longest I've seen is about 8 years, but usually it's a year or two to get a permit. Next slide, please. Okay, through the years, with more than 300 plants delivered, thanks to improved technology, the average Tecwill plant saves annually 48 truckloads of cement, about 2,400 tons, and more than 2,100 tons of CO2. The value of the cement saved is more than 360,000 Canadian dollars. Next slide, please. When mixing concrete, for a greener plant, some of the challenges when mixing concrete: slump variation, aggregate moisture control, repeatability problems, limited mix designs in some plants, hot or cold weather problems, and maintenance accessibility. When delivering concrete, some of the problems and challenges are rejected loads from your clients because of quality issues, slump control variation in a truck mixer. Due to, as you know, most of you know, you can get two mixers that were built side by side, and the slump meter in the truck is not exactly the same. The weather changes, the slump meter varies because the oil is thicker because of the cold weather and whatnot. And also, delivering the concrete, driver may add water to the load in the truck mixer, and that does cause a bit of a problem, because if he's in truck, let's say truck 12 one day and has a setting for a 32 MPa, he's in truck 11 the next day and tries using the same setting, it might not be the same in that truck. So you get variance in your loads. And in dry plants, one of the problems is increased wear in the truck drum mixer. I had a customer out in Alberta. They were two sister companies. They were each doing approximately 1,000 meters a day. Company A had a central mix plant, and they would be finishing 2 to 3 hours ahead of Company B. Company A also would change their mixers every 8 to 10 years, the drum mixers on the trucks, whereas Company B, doing the dry batch with his extra 2 to 3 hours a day per employee, was changing them every 3 to 4 years. So there was a great saving in there. That's a few things, you know, that save some money and energy on the way through. Next slide, please. Okay, solutions and sources of sustainability: more accurate weighing, better moisture control, and better temperature control. It all leads to higher profit and sustainability. Next slide, please.
This was actually the spot for the second video, if you'd like to play that still.
Okay. So we're doing pretty good then. Yeah, sounds good.
Fun.
Okay, I can tell a little bit about the video. So
yeah.
This is showing this so-called flying weighing system, and how the material is. It's a dynamic weighing, and then the material is moved all the time during the weighing. The intermediate hopper. So this is really high capacity system and then really accuracy. So only a couple of kilos mistake can be achieved. And then the second benefit is that all the material moisture can be measured just by one moisture sensor. So this is recalibrated for all different fractions, and the materials are passing this measuring point one by one, and they are measured then the moisture values are given to the control system. And if you have some bigger fraction, what you are not necessary to need to measure, so when this material is passing the sensor, it can be lifted up. So there's automatic system that operator can choose that which materials he want to measure and which are not needed. So then the probe is lifted up automatically. So this is giving the huge benefits to the quality of the concrete, so we get always the right water amount to the parts. And the system also, especially in the winter time when you have problems with your aggregates, there's a lot of moisture variation because of the snow and ice. The heating system can put extra steam in the aggregate, so you have to know your moisture values. This is another benefit. The same system can also used for dosing the fibers when you make Shotcrete. So all the fibers are pre-mixed with aggregate during the weighing and so material when it goes to the mixer, so it's already pre-mixed. So it means that you don't get any slumps in your concrete, and your shotcrete is always, you will have equal quality in your shotcrete, and there are no problems with your spraying machines. And this system can be used for all kind of fibers, so steel fibers, polypropylene fibers, or plastic fibers. It can. Thank you, Derek. You can keep on going.
Okay, thank you, Yanni. Okay, so we're going to look at more accurate weighing. Next slide, please. You need better control of dosing deviation. Can reduce the cement content in a mix design up to 30 kilograms per cubic meter. Leads to huge savings in production cost, less cement and less CO2. An example is 15 kilograms of cement per cubic meter. 1,000 cubic meters times 15 kilograms is 1,500 tons of savings on cement per year. Now, just taking it at $100 Canadian a ton, and as you know, that's not quite the price that cement is right now, but this is just on the low end as an example. Annual saving can be about $150,000 Canadians. Normal concrete plant, that's fine, a little slower, but the thing is with this is you've got to realize when you're weighing your material without, especially the sand, because your moisture is surface moisture, and that's free water, which is the hardest to control. What you want to do is have a probe in there, minimum your sand. Anything over 1/4 inch you don't really need, because you can adjust that manually because there's not that much surface moisture. Now, when you're put in, let's say for a cubic meter, 1,000 kilos, and it's got 4% moisture. Well, with that 1,000 kilos, 4% moisture, doesn't sound like much, but it's 40 kilos that you're putting more water in and not enough sand. So your batch is actually going to be a little smaller. When you're putting it in
next slide, please.
Oh, sorry. Next slide.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I jumped ahead. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. Can we go ahead now, please? I'm just so excited and moving through this. Yeah, it's here. Precise aggregate and water measurements that gives you the right water cement ratio, correct slump, and less rejected or out of spec concrete. Mixed designs are based on dry weights. Free water is the biggest reason for out of spec. Now here it is basically what I was saying, just even in a 2.5 meter batch. Aggregate amount 4.5, as you can read here. 2% of that 88,550 kilograms is 170 kilograms too much water, and it's also 171 kilograms not enough sand. Generally, it's the sand that's the problem. So it changes your water cement ratio, and B, you're putting in your cement to make another 171 kilograms of product, but you're not doing it. Now, it doesn't sound like much like this, but when you take it through a day and how many batches you're doing, it really adds up. I had a customer that I sold a probe that he just put in his sand. It was a block plant, and in block plants, the water is pretty critical because, you know, you put in maybe, go and talk in the old way, you know, putting in maybe 7, 8, 9 gallons of water to a 1 meter batch. Now, this customer, I told him he could have his return on investment in 3 to 4 months. He said, Derek, I will check it and I will let you know. In less than 30 days, he called me and he goes, you lied to me. I asked him why I lied to him. He said he's been checking it. He was getting generally 80 blocks per batch. When he put it in, he was getting 88 blocks per batch. And the cost through making his batches, he was doing about 85 batches a day. He figured before 30 days, the product had, the probe had paid for itself, And the next time I was down there, he said, come out to the yard and have a look at this. He had gray block, and he goes, look at the gray block. They're all the same color. There was no variation in color at all because they're all the right dry mix design that's going in. So that's good for your concrete if you're pouring, let's say, pouring flat surfaces, and you've got that. You're not only saving money, but when you put it in on a flat surface and finish it, there will be no variation in colors of gray. Shades of gray. Next slide, please. Okay, and now we're going to look at better temperature control. Next slide. Next slide, please. Okay, temperature control in cold weather. The bins have to be suitable for aggregate heating, water heating, and hot water dousing. Measured materials, temperatures. Your control system should be able to set you with a desired target temperature for your concrete and give you a real-time water cement ratio. Saves fuel and CO2 and gives you, once again, less rejected concrete. The better product you get for your customer, the happier he will be. No rejections, no returns, and the more profitable you will be. Next slide, please. Okay, that's through to solutions. Next slide, please. Is getting zero rejected concrete mixing complicated? Can be, but there's enough technology out there to make it simple. You can do high capacity with more repeatable batch quality. Slump control, you want to take that out of the driver's hand. It saves you money with less time at the slump rack for the truck and the driver. As you know, the driver goes to the slump rack, goes to adjust things, and another driver's there, and their 5 minutes at the slump rack ends up anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes when they're talking about the hockey game last night and sort of just talking, lose track of time. Better control of the temperature in hot and cold weather. Once again, concrete should be at optimum temperature when it's being poured, taking into account the weather outside. That's either adding ice or in hot weather, adding hot water and heating in cold weather. The exact aggregate moisture, right consistency, and right water cement ratio. Every batch gives you every batch within tighter tolerances, and at the same time it will save you energy, cement, and reduce CO2. How to make it work in practice. You need a plant layout that's simple and intuitive, easy relocatable if need be. Modulars, you can get winterized plants that are pre-plumbed and wired. Properly dimensioned plant gives you a leaner plant. When you're looking at a plant, going to buy a plant, you got to make sure you have, if you're going out looking for a plant to start off with, you're going, well, I'd like to do 500 meters a day. So a lot of people end up looking 500 meters a day, 8 meters at 60 meters an hour. So I need a 60 meter an hour plant, but you don't. You need something that's going to run probably 100 plus meters an hour, because in the morning's your busy time. And that is when the plant works. In the afternoon, it slows down. So, some of your drivers go home, you don't have as many orders, it starts tapering off because everybody likes to pour in the morning when they have things set from the day before. Plants, ours come pre-wired and plumbed. Employees have to be trained in the batch plant maintenance and the operating system. I've been through so many plants where they go, yep, oh, they know what they're doing, they train it, they maintain it and everything. But then you're burning bearings because nobody's lubricating things. Nobody's taking care of them. Well, it's kind of hard to get to, so they don't really like to do that. Well, you've got to maintain your plant. Mixer, easy washout of the mixer in a central mix plant. And maintenance must be kept safe and accessible. As you see in the picture there, that plant is put up with no building or enclosures required because it's all done as containers, and no footings or foundations. They are on either a concrete slab or, as you saw in the video, a concrete frame that it just sits on and stays there. Next slide, please. In the winter plant, I mean, everybody out here is involved in winter. You still make concrete in winter. Plants made for winter production, cones and bins and heat distribution elements. Temperature control concrete production to desired temperature. We do have a heating system. Bins are suitable and made for effective heating. And if you see there, that bin on the picture in the right, that actually has a lid on it. So it closes down so you're not losing heat and everything. And then concrete temperature adjusted by hot water. Next slide, please. Delivery projects. Here's a couple of things that we have done. Windmill park foundation for more than 1,000 windmills, done with a Cobra C120 plant, twin shaft BHS mixer, 3 cubic meters, mobile steel foundation and loading ramps, winter plant with aggregate and water heating, automatic fiber dousing, and that was done in Ruscon, Tony. Not sure exactly where that is, but there's a picture of it. Next slide, please. Now we've done projects, tunnel project, road tunnel through mountains, shotcrete and ready-mix concrete, limited road access due to heavy snowfall, wind speeds up to 55 meters per second. It's a Cobra C40, one of those smaller plants. Polypropylene dousing system, and it was done for Metrostav. I believe that was in Iceland, I think, yeah. Next slide, please. When we do plants, just briefly here, we're just starting installation. We supply installation service tool, backup parts, electricity and automation, backup parts mechanical, mixer, backup parts for the heating system. Next slide, please. Now here in a summary, sustainability comes from more accurate concrete weighing, better moisture control, and better temperature control. Profitability, you don't deliver out of spec concrete, you save the quality costs. You don't produce out of spec, you're saving wasted money. Eliminate downtime, you improve production, and more efficient plant leads to higher profitability. New technology leads to greener production and reduced CO2, and also more profitability. Next slide, please. Now, does anybody have any question now that you've heard me rattle on for enough?
Oliver, I believe we're going to get you to jump in here with some of the questions that have been coming in.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Derek. And again, to all the attendees, if you have any questions for Derek, please feel free to use the question box. So I'm going ahead with the first question. Now, in the video, it shows that the concrete plant was set up in a week. So what is the regular lead time that's required for the design, fabrication, and shipping of the plant?
The design and shipping the plant, generally, I would say is, Yanni might jump in and
yeah, I can
lay a comment on this, but it's 4 to 5 months to be delivered.
Yeah, exactly.
Because so the basic plant itself is built in Finland, and then over here in Canada, and we have people in Ontario, fabricators that will fabricate the bins and the silos for us to our spec. So about 4 to 5 months, including the delivery, and then setup time is not that long.
Your setup time is something, depending on the models, from 4 days up to 2 weeks, depending on the plant and the equipment and the there is involved.
One of the
options.
One of the beauties about the plants is they are relocatable. So if it only takes you, 1 to 2 weeks to set up, well, you can tear it down, run it there for a year, tear it down, move it to another place in 1 to 2 weeks. Or conversely, if you're going in and permitting for it, and it's going to be there for whatever, 10 years you figure, or however long, it's usually easier to get permitting for a plant when it is not permanent. You might be keeping it there permanently, but it's a module plant. So you will have an easier time getting your permits from the cities and the counties.
And like this plant here in the picture, this is located in the road construction site in the paving project. So they are making concrete for the new roads, and then the same plant is making also all the concrete for the bridges and this kind of thing. So the high quality concrete.
Awesome, thank you. The second question is the fiber conveyor integral part of the plant, or it can be purchased separately?
Yeah, maybe I can answer. So yes, the fiber dosing system. If we deliver it our plant and the fiber dosing system, then it's integrated, of course, to the plant, and then it's very easy to use. But of course, we have that available also without plant, so it's possible to deliver only fiber dosing system. In this case, we just need a little bit more information that what is the fiber type used and what kind of plant you have, where to connect it, that we can maybe give some ideas.
We'd have to get some kind of idea of what height on the belt we can put it in on your feed belt, where, as you were seeing in the video, where it gets laid on top of the aggregates. So we need it can be done, but we need some information too to get the right design to fit whatever height on the belt and where you want it to come in.
Awesome, thank you so much. One more question, since you have touched on the moisture sensoring and control a lot in your presentation, so does this sensoring system available to all your plants? And the second part of the question is the modifying of water content to compensate the change during aggregate loading being automatically counted in the batching itself?
Yeah, it can be integrated into any plant, when it, and it's also ties in with the batch controller. Now, the way the probe works, to give you a little background on it, it's in the cone on the ceramic faceplate, there is a microwave unit that sends and receives a signal. Now, that signal goes out at 100%. The moisture will absorb the signal. The aggregates will not. So if you're sending a signal out at 100%, it's coming back at 95%. You know there's 5% moisture in there. What this will do, tied into the batch controller, it will take that, it will take 5%, or that 5% weight. It will take that out of the water, and it will add 5% more sand. So you are going to your dry mix design, which is the optimal, because that's the way all mix designs are designed, to be dry mix. Does that answer the question satisfactory? It does save money. It does save money. Years back, people were saying, well, I don't really know it. I don't really trust it. I've been in with microwave probes since 1999, and they've come a long way. They're a lot better than they were back when I started off.
And there's also a lot of very important, so it doesn't matter so much actually if you are putting the sensor in the plant, but the most important is the place where you're putting it. So it will have a very big influence then to the measuring result and the accuracy. So if you are trying to measure it in wrong place, so then you are getting totally wrong information, and your quality is always changing.
Yeah, when it is in the material, it has to have a consistent density on the faceplate, because otherwise you're measuring voids. So like Yanni was saying, it is very critical that it is in the material that you're using and that you have a consistent density on it.
Okay, thank you so much. Maybe we have time for a last question. You have shared some of your personal experience with one customer. Can you share another example of a customer in Canada or North America where you help them setting up the plant, from the start, from the beginning to the end, and what is the savings that they made, what's the time, the lead time, and etc.
At the moment, we at Tecwill, we are just breaking into Canada. We have quite a few right now, proposals that are very close to closing and probably would have closed without this COVID thing hitting a year ago. So that's kind of slowed us down. But we do run throughout the world. And with us, with our staff here, and I've been in this industry for a fair bit, I see no problem going in and having it run. First one that goes up, we will let you know, let us know, we will let you know. And, if you want to come and see it or whatever, that's good. Another item that is, we have a virtual plant tour. So it's actually going into a plant and having a look at everything on how it goes. Now, if it interests you, you can contact one of us at Tecwill and we can set it up and do it online so you can see exactly what the plant looks like and how it operates. Anything to add to that, Yanni?
Okay, Derek, you have some voice problem now. So what Derek was telling that we have a visual tour, so now it's hard to travel and go to visit in the plants. So it's easy to show. We make a visit in the virtual world and go inside the plant and see all the devices and move and see inside the bins and the mixer and everything. So that's available, and we have also already first plant in Canada. So there it's in one of the northern mines in Canada, where is one of our plants already delivered.
All right, thank you so much. I think that will be all the questions for now. Again, if anyone have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to Derek or anyone on the slide that you can see with all the contact information. Back to you, Camille.
Okay, I've got my audio back. Sorry about that.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, Derek. You were actually okay on my end.
Okay, I couldn't hear, so.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, thank you very much, Derek and Yanni. It was great having you here today. That was an excellent presentation.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, we're happy to. We need some way to connect in this crazy day and age. So I hope everyone was paying attention and that you all learned a lot, because we're going to do our Kahoots Pop Quiz game round right now, and that will be followed by the additional prize draw thanks to Tecwill's sponsorship today. So if everyone could please use their smartphone to go to the following website, www.kahoot.it. And this is where you're going to be able to log into the game. You don't need to download any apps or anything like that. It's quick and easy. So I'll just go over a couple more things here. There will be a pin that shows up on the slide shortly. That's what you will need to log into the game. It will also ask you for your email address so that we can identify you and send our top 3 finalists their winning gift cards at the end. We do also need a nickname for all the participants. Please keep your HR department in mind and don't use anything that you're going to regret. And it is a timed type of game, so the faster you answer the questions, the more points you will earn for correct answers. So our prizes today, first prize is going to be a $150 Amazon gift card, second prize will be a $100 gift card, and third prize will be a $50 gift card. So hopefully that is some good motivation to get everyone to participate, and good luck to everyone. I'm just going to pull up the game pin now so everyone can start logging in. Okay, so the game pin is on the screen now, if everyone can start logging in. We are getting some interesting nicknames here. All right, there's always a couple concrete ones. Okay, hopefully we get a few more. We'll give it another few seconds before we get started. Okay, we're gonna get started here. Tecwill's head office is in Iceland, Greenland, Finland, or Newfoundland. A few more seconds for everyone to get their answers in. Okay, we've got lots that got it right with Finland. And we have Concrete for Life in the lead. Concrete Ontario was formed in 1967, 1935, 1959, or 2001. Ooh, a little harder on that one. We got one person that got it right. Father Time has taken the lead. Greening concrete is coloring concrete green, reducing concrete's carbon footprint, making fresh concrete, or all of the above. Everyone always loved those all of the above multiple choice options when they were in school, so hopefully this one doesn't mess anybody up too much. All right, the majority got that one as well. And Father Time still has the lead. A concrete mix design is based on moisture-free aggregates, up to 5% moisture content, up to 2% moisture content, or moisture content in aggregates, doesn't matter. That was a bit of a tricky one as well there. Okay. Tecwill's concrete plants are containerized, pre-wired and pre-plumbed, pre-tested, or all of the above. Okay. Everybody did well on that one as well. Father Time still has it. Concrete Ontario's golf tournaments take place at Glen Eagle and Brockville Country Club, Brockville Country Club and Glen Abbey, The Rock and Glen Eagle, or Donalda Club and Lakeview Golf Course. Ooh, majority got that one as well.
Some golfers out there.
Clearly. I think everyone's looking forward to getting back to that this summer. Tecwill has been designing and making batch plants since 1979, 1948, 1965, or 1994. Ooh, only one right on this one. Okay, and our standings aren't changing too much. The weighting system mentioned in the webinar was a flying weight system, a decumulative weight system, a cumulative, or approximate. Oh, and whoever me is has taken the lead. More profitable concrete can be made with more accurate weighting, better moisture control, better temperature control, or all of the above. Okay, just about everybody got that one as well. Not too much of a change in the standings. Almost done. Tecwill plants can be set up in 3 months, 1 to 2 weeks, 2 months, or 16 weeks. Majority got that one as well. Awesome. Oh, and the standings have changed. LDR is in the lead. And our final question. Today's presenters, I should have added a plural there, did a great job, a great job, a great job, or all of the above. All right. So our standings now. In third place, we have Father Time, had the early lead, but he's still placed. In second place, we have me. And in first place, stole it near the end, we have LDR. All right, congrats everybody, great job.
Good job.
Always fun to get something a little interactive into the mix. Just gonna jump back over to our PowerPoint here. Okay. Awesome, so congrats to our Cahoots winners. We do also have an additional winner draw today, thanks to Tecwill and their sponsorship of today's webinar. So we do have an additional $100 Amazon gift card that we will be giving away. So I have entered everyone that signed up. I've entered everyone's names into a draw. In order to be eligible to win this prize, though, not only do you need to be registered for today's webinar, but you must be present. So we will be confirming that the winner is actually was actually present in today's webinar. So I'm just using a random name picker app here. So I've got everyone's name in the pot. And our winner draw today is Wayne Polney. So Wayne Polney, assuming you are in attendance today, you are the winner of a $100 Amazon gift card, thanks to Tecwill sponsorship. Okay, so our next webinar that we have coming up will be on March 18th, and we hope that many of you will be able to join us for that as well. We have Master Builder Solutions joining us, and they will be presenting on recognizing and managing the embodied carbon of concrete. And I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us today on this chilly winter day. Seeing as most of us are still in lockdown, hopefully this was a good opportunity to step away from your normal day-to-day work and connect with some others in the industry I think we got a lot of good insight into some of the awesome batch plants that Tecwill has to offer and some of the interesting technology that they're working with. I'd like to thank Derek and Yanni again for taking the time to put this presentation together for us.
Thank you very much for the time and the assistance. And thank everybody for showing up and watching it.
Yes, we're happy to have
you.
you and happy to have all the participants. Excellent, thanks.
And thank you for the Concrete Ontario for this opportunity to keep this webinar. Thank you for all the attendees.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Okay, so we hope everybody enjoyed today's webinar. We hope that we'll see many of you again in March, and stay healthy and safe, everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.